It's time we have somebody in Denver looking out for Pueblo when it comes to energy bills across the board.
Okay. Brian?
Thank you. Once again, as a small business owner, last year we had a rate increase at my facility, Southside Fitness here in town. Ran for city council, decided that we were going to go ahead and up the rates because we wanted to buy more equipment and be more productive within our community. As we did that, I found out that I opened up the electric bill and more than doubled. We just had an increase. I couldn't afford to pass on this increase to my customers because we wanted to be known as an affordable place to come and work out. All energy should be created equal. None should be more regulated than others. In the end, the customer pays when certain types of energy are regulated more than the other. I understand protecting the environment, but at what cost? I would expand the PUC to include citizens. Thank you.
Daneya?
We've touched on how our higher utility rates affect small businesses, but it also affects other utility rates we have. The Board of Waterworks alone pays millions of dollars every year to Black Hills Energy for energy to clean our water. We need to find solutions, and we need to find them fast. We may be locked into a 20-year contract with Black Hills here at the city level, so we need to figure out ways at the state level to start protecting Pueblo. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
You know, as my energy is my second issue on my platform. You know, with bringing jobs to Pueblo, we need to do three things. We need to fix our education system, lower our energy rates, and create a better public safety. With that being said, energy has to be taken care of, and it has to be taken care of not in 3 years, but now.
Okay, Brian, you'll answer this one first. Pueblo City Schools is facing the possibility of the state taking over some of its schools, and District 70 historically has been underfunded by the state. What specific ideas will you take to the legislature to help our local public schools?
Well, just like I said earlier, this is the #1 issue on my platform. When I decided to run for office this last November, I knew education was going to be huge. And as we all read the last couple weeks, our schools are failing here in Pueblo. It's in my platform, and without education, we cannot develop any type of economic development. I will not support any type of Common Core. I want to give the local control to the communities and the school boards. I want to let the teachers do what they do best, and that's teach.
Daneya?
Well, that's something we actually both agree on. I believe letting teachers teach as well, which is why I've been endorsed by every teachers union in Colorado. I will fight for fair per-pupil funding when it comes to the state level. There's no reason Cherry Creek schools should receive more money per pupil than Pueblo, Colorado. I will also work past the corporate curriculum and let teachers really be creative and inspire in the classrooms. We also need to figure out a way, and I know it's not a simple solution or it would have been done by now, to minimize class sizes. We need to make sure that students have more adults in their lives. One thing I think of when I graduated from high school, not everybody was made out to go to higher education. We had vocation programs. We had ways to inspire students to take up a trade and work with their hands. At the state level, I will work hard as your state representative to make sure that we're working with the Pueblo Community College and we're working with CSU Pueblo to be sure that these vocational classes have a way to be back in our public education system so kids have a way to make a living. I also believe that if we can figure out a way to increase the pay that we give teachers, we will recruit and inspire more talent and more passion in the classroom.
Brian?
Once elected November 4th, the very first thing I want to do is I want to sit down with both District 60 and District 70. I want to sit down there and find out what I could do as their state legislator to go up there and find out what we can fight for and what we can do to help them out here locally. Thank you.
Okay. Daneya?
I'm not waiting until November 4th. I have sat down and I have spoken with the teachers in the classrooms to see what it is they need now.
Okay, Daneya, you'll handle this question first. The issues of marijuana stores in parts of Pueblo County has been controversial. Do you believe that the legislature needs to take up more marijuana control measures, or do you think the current laws are sufficient?
I have to tell you, I've been knocking on the doors in Pueblo West for a while now, and that's one of the biggest concerns. When I ask people what their concerns are, they talk about the fact that there are marijuana shops in their area, but they feel like they don't have a say-so. I absolutely believe in local control when it comes to the marijuana shops here. We need to be able to decide what is going to be put in our communities. Marijuana Amendment 64 was passed by voters 60 to 40%. It's here. We need to work and find ways to make it a benefit for our community. Let's be creative and think about ways of possibilities for economic development here in Pueblo County. We need to make sure that we are checking regulations at the state level to be sure that edibles especially are being labeled properly and that kids don't get a hold of it. One of the ways we can do some economic development here in Pueblo County is around that regulation with edibles. We need to make chemical labs that will actually hire chemists, well-paying jobs for Pueblo, to make sure they're testing and regulating the THC content of these edibles and properly labeling them so they don't get in the hands of somebody and hurt them.
Brian?
We all understand it was voted in by the people of Colorado, and it's now part of the Colorado Constitution. It's basically the law of the land. I believe it should be available for legitimate medical reasons. But most important, we need to keep it out of the hands of our children. We need to do better with education on the marijuana situation. It's a cash-only business. With that, I throw up a lot of red flags. It invites a lot of crimes. Many crimes we're starting to see to this day. Thank you.
Okay, Brian, you'll handle this question first. Do you support spending millions of dollars to improve the railroad tracks across southern Colorado to keep the Amtrak Chief train operating? And if so, how can more people be persuaded to use the service?
This is a great question. You know, if this is the end, then I do, not approve. But if it's a step forward, statewide rail, then I approve. My hope is that jobs will come because of this, and because of that, I'm not skeptical. What I am concerned about is jobs, and if this is a way to create some type of a job system, I 100% support it. If I can be guaranteed that Everett Steel Mill can make this rail, I'm all for it. Thank you.
Daneya?
I have always been a supporter of the Southwest Chief running through Pueblo. I have not flip-flopped on my answer on that one. I believe it will, in fact, create jobs. Not only the jobs to put in the steel that will be from Everett Steel, and also create jobs from tourism. We need to make sure that we're thinking broader when it comes to economic development here in Pueblo. What a greater way to show off our beautiful downtown than to have a train stop right in the middle of it. Colorado can become the hub of southern Colorado simply by working together and making this happen. I'm also kind of a visionary when it comes to the future. How many of you would like to hop on a train sometime on a Sunday and take a ride on a train up to Denver to watch a Denver Broncos game? If we start working on the Southwest Chief, the East-West, there's nothing stopping us from beginning the groundwork and setting plans in place for something that travels all the way from Trinidad up to Cheyenne, Wyoming. It can happen if we work together.
Brian?
I don't consider it a flip-flop. What I do think about is it's an open idea. You know, I'm going to look at every little issue that we can come up with. I'm going to outweigh the pros and the cons, and I'll go with that. It's great to go to Denver to watch a Bronco game, but you know what I'm concerned about? How are we going to pay for that ticket to get on the train? How are we going to sit there and pay for a Bronco ticket at $50 a ticket if we don't have jobs?
Daneya?
I just want to know where you found $50 Bronco tickets, but that's okay.
Connections, connections.
Okay. Daneya, you'll answer this one first. Everyone supports small business growth and economic development. That's a pretty easy position to take. But what specific proposals do you have to take to the legislature?
Here in Pueblo, 85% of our jobs are somehow, some way connected to small business. To say small businesses are the lifeline of Southern Colorado and of Pueblo County is easy to say. I want to work hard, not only at the state level, but make sure we're working with city officials and county officials to think outside of the box when it comes to economic development. We can push hard to bring state contracts here into Pueblo, but we need to think inside as well. We need to work hard with our small business owners to find out what it is they need. We need to invest in these small businesses. We need to give them tax incentives to come here and to expand their business. If we can get small businesses the help they need to make more jobs here in Pueblo, that's more money that comes directly back into our local economy, and we start to fix our issues.
Ryan?
As a small business owner, this is another issue that touches my heart. You know, it is my platform. Economic development consists of 4 issues: education, public safety, energy, and protecting our water. I will do anything and everything to sit there and make sure that those 4 things happen to where we can bring the private sector jobs back to Pueblo. We need to do that with fewer taxes and less regulation. Thank you.
Daneya?
When we talk about jobs, it's easy to say we all want to bring jobs to Pueblo. I think we all agree with that. But one thing I want to take it a step further is I want to make sure that we're bringing jobs to Pueblo and creating jobs within our small businesses that pay a living wage, give access to affordable health care, and maybe even possibly, if we want to dream big, offer some defined pensions. Again, it's what built this city, and it's what we need to rebuild this city.
Brian?
At this moment, I feel that any type of a job is going to sit there and create economic development. We have to start at the bottom in order to gain to the top. This is what's going to be done by creating jobs on the local level, all the way up into Pueblo here. I've done it personally. I've created jobs at not one business, not 2 businesses, but 3 different businesses I've owned.
Okay, Brian, you'll answer this question first. What else can the legislature do to control the flooding and contamination issues on the Fountain Creek?
I'm a small business owner, and when I'm a legislator, I will reach out to the water experts so I can create the best solutions and come up with the best ways to protect the water for Pueblo County. You know, that's the thing in my business. I get to, you know, you don't know anything as a small business owner. You learn day to day, step by step. You know, I didn't learn to roof a house overnight. It took many years. I've been in this industry for 28 years now. There's not a day that goes by that I don't learn. I look forward to learning more about the water issues. I feel it's an important value. Thank you. I'm going to take a drink of water.
Daneya?
I have reached out to the water experts and have started the learning process when it comes